Howdy, howdy, fellas. World of Warships Legends match today in the, whatever it was, D Pajarski. I actually forget what the D is. Yeah, I love this ship. Oh, I threw this in there. I had a good morning. I only played a handful of matches today, and this is it. And then the one I'm about to show you, this was this morning. I got 3 out of 4 matches over 3,500 experience in this thing today. And so I got on. I was like, oh, I'll play it again. I'm like, wait a second, wait a second. This has been a good day. This is one of my. I just love this ship. It's time. It's time to take the purple. Here, oh yeah, you can see. I thought about it. I thought I was gonna take it off another ship, but I'm like, I've got 38,000 steel. Let's just treat yourself. It's like let's do it. All right, yeah, let's do it. It's time. It's time. I really like this ship. This is I've made. I don't think I even made all the videos that I got on this thing. I know I've made a few, and apologies to anyone who doesn't love the Dpoz gameplay, but I just like this ship. I'm so glad I picked it up. It was, if memory serves me, was it the Christmas thing? Yeah, the like Cyber Christmas whatever thing they did, where this was the one you could get like kind of for free, and then you could get the Loria if you spent money and got like the crate, whatever, like one of those currency events where it had like multiple tiers of ships available. I think this one you could get for free. I love it. I just love it. It's not 1,000% perfect. If I could like design my own ship, I'd give it American pin angles and radar. But as far as realistic ships go that exist, I really like this thing. Oh yes, laughing to this anchorage. Like I specifically waited to see if he was going to go right or left. As usual, I like a little bit of separation from the team, especially in an AP only ship. But honestly, in anything, I like about a square or two of separation, kind of depending on the situation. And I'm thinking he's got smoke, I've got smoke. If we both go sit in the same square, like it's like smoke up together and no one can see anything. Like I don't want to do that. So I looked like he was going to the left side, or no, sorry, it looked like he was going. Oh gosh, I've got my angles all mixed up. From my perspective right now, it looked like he was going right. And then as soon as I started coming in front of him, he like kind of turned left. I don't know if he thought I was going to hit him. I'm almost positive I had clearance to get around. If I was like continuing my turn to left, I would have wiggled my buns out. He would have gone anyway. Well, yeah, it kind of got tangled up, but thankfully you don't tend to get as stuck on ships anymore. Does anybody remember when there was that like several month period where if you like touched a ship at all, you use like super glue? Like, good luck, man. You're stuck for like 3 minutes. I'm glad they fixed that. What was I saying? Dpoz. I love this ship. Uh, you know, I played 4 matches today, and I played all in this ship, and every single match was a great match. 3 of them were over 3,500. I've got a friend that I've made in the game. I think he watches most of my videos. Hey, dude. He likes it as well, and it's just like, man, it's just a good ship. Like it's fun. It feels fair enough. Like there are sometimes those ships that you have that it feels like they're wildly overtuned, and this one realistically might be, but it certainly has weaknesses if people know how to take advantage of it, and don't just let it do its thing. Like I think I made the Colbert video, like oh the most toxic ship in the game. This doesn't quite have that same feel to me. Like it's more limited, it is more quote unquote fair in my opinion. Like it does have those limitations. If you angle to it, it certainly can't do as much damage. It's overmatchable by most battleships that it's going to face. It is weak to HE spam. If you get like a high DPM HE ship and you're nose in, it should win. Although there are things you can do about that, which is another thing that I like about it. And it has these 5 in this case because they don't have fully packed short smoke screens, and that's actually I really like it. Oh, I don't think I showed the actual stats on this ship. Another thing that I like about it has a fairly fast rudder. It's under 7 seconds, 34 knots, so not the fastest, but by no means slow. It does have torpedoes for when you need them. I have Lip on it. You could use Kuznetsov, and he would be just fine. But Lip is, kind of that next bump up. I just like this ship. It's just really fun. Um, yeah, it's a good ship. So anyway, in this match, um, on Scandinavia, I like this map. It can be problematic depending on how people play the mid. And it's not a small map, so you can get kind of stuck on a side and the other side loses. You can't necessarily impact it, and that can be a little bit annoying at times. I think one of my like old Odin videos. Oh yeah, I forgot. When I made the Odin video the other day, I actually have another Odin video that I made a while ago. Where in that one I ended up like we fought at A, and just like everything that happened on this side we just had no impact on, and there's realistically no way you can get over there. That can be annoying on this map depending on how it goes. But I like this map. It's got like some fun angles to play around. Um, and it's still new enough that it doesn't feel like everyone just has their spots. Like there's some of those maps that it feels like people just go to the same spot every time and play it the same way, and this one doesn't quite feel like that. You know, you have people sometimes go around that island, sometimes they come into D on the south side, sometimes we come to this side, sometimes we go that. Like, yeah, I like this map. Anyway, we're here on this side. As usual, we've got a clump of blue ships on top of each other. I was specifically trying to avoid that, but I think just because of some of the ships that came from CR way, it ended up everybody got pushed this way a little bit. Nagato's down tiered. I'm going to try to set the volume. We were having I think a helpful, good conversation, you know, like talking about strategy in the match. So certainly nothing against him, but I think it will be distracting in the commentary if you're like I'm talking over him and it's confusing about who's talking. So I'm going to try to mute it down a little bit so the end game sound might be a little bit lower. But just to say, like, we had a good conversation about the match, and I appreciated talking with him in the match. Anyway, got this mines pushing up here. You know, I can kind of see how we went with this. One of the things I would have loved, the anchorage, I think easily could have pushed in on that side, and we could have had a crossfire. The mines either angles to me or angles to the anchorage, and one of us sinks him. It didn't quite happen, but he's gotten himself kind of beached here. If I can make it around this corner, I have his broadside. He's well aware of that. I'm sure he wants to get his torpedoes on me, so I'm certainly waiting for them, and then... Oh yeah, knock his turret. That's just good, you know. Knock the turrets out. Yep, here comes the anchorage. You know, he's stuck. Oh yeah, I really just sneaking the kill. I think that was the Nagato. Must have gotten like a citadel or two on him. But yeah, like that's why you want that little bit of separation. You force the enemy to have to pick. Does he angle to the anchorage? Does he angle to me? Does he angle to the Nagato? Like, he's stuck. He can't do anything about that. You know, I think the mines, once he saw how many ships were back here, again, I can't see it from his perspective. I don't know if he could see that there were, 5 blue ships over here. Oof. Anchorage got too frosty, pushed right in, ate 2 torps, and the shot from the Amagi should have just, like, posted up right on the island. You know, we know that, I think it's an Ale Harbin, I believe, one of the Pan-Asian cruisers, and a Moss in this cap. Like, I get why he wanted to get out of vision. Yeah, shit, like, right on this island, I think he would have been safe. Here, I was a little disappointed in these shots. You know, even watching it back, yeah, that one was a good shot, but that first one, I'm not thrilled. I don't know. Maybe just bad dispersion. I'm not sure. Didn't aim super well. Here... I wanted the blind fire, but one of the drawbacks of the Pożarski that keeps it like a little fair is it has 7.3 smoke firing penalty. I think it's 7.3, which is high. You know, that's what the Michelangelo is 7.4, which I double checked after my video the other day. No one watches my Michelangelo videos. Like, I'm good. Michelangelo, go watch the Michelangelo videos. Anyway, so this thing basically has like 203. A lot of 203 8-inch guns are around that firing penalty. So I would love to have continued blind firing the Ale Harbin, but I'm not a master of that. If I keep shooting, they're going to see me. They will burn me down eventually. So I'm just going to let it go dark. I assume there are torpedoes coming for me. So I want to kind of get out of that position. My sonar is on cooldown. Wish it was still up, but it's not. Neither of these ships have super long smoke screens. The Ale Harbin has, that was a good whack. The Ale Harbin has the shorter smoke screen, and the Moss, like the German smoke, is like just over a minute. So I know both of them aren't going to be able to just sit in the smoke screen forever. If I can get out of that corner, not get torpedoed, I can push on them. I'll at least see the Harbin, and as happened, I might be able to get the Moss. I don't know if he had a way to get out of that once he's kind of stuck in his smoke screen there, you know, perpendicular to us, he's not in a good position to retreat, which is a thing you should always be thinking about in Destroyer. Something that I struggle with, have struggled with in the past, and really try to focus on. But it's easier said than done. Watch your kind of retreat angles. Make sure you can get out. And he put himself in a position where he didn't really have anywhere to go once the smoke screen came out. So we've handily cleared out this flank. A lot of good teamwork. I think we had an Algerie over here that went down, but I'm looking around. The Nagato is super low health. That is a Siegfried. I didn't realize it at the time. That's a Siegfried behind us that, I don't know exactly what he was doing. I'm curious. I didn't check his score after the match, but I think he kind of like sailed around from mid and has sailed around behind us. Like, he needed to be in B, like even using one of those islands for cover or something. Like, pick a different position. All he's doing is like he's late to the party. And I get it, that happens sometimes. So not to, kind of call him out specifically and individually, but just as you're thinking about the game, if you're trying to get better, if you're in a position where you're just following behind other ships, especially in a way that like you're not specifically supporting them, like you don't have a specific plan of like, oh, I need to be here to support them in this specific way. He's just kind of like, oh, like what am I doing? I'm over here. I'm sailing behind them. You're probably in the wrong spot. You should be 2 squares away from them. If he was over here kind of with the Flander, he might have a shot on the Pojarski that's pushing up into B, the red Pojarski. He does overmatch it. He's got 15-inch guns. That's one of the things he could do. He could be screening the low health, super low health Flander and Nagato from the carrier. With Siegfried has amazing AA. I think it may be the best cruiser AA at the tier. Oh, D7P exists now, so that's probably not. I love this. Carrier gets a fire on the Pojarski so we can see it. So we get a good, like, oof, like a double. I think everybody just wrecked that dude. Makes me feel a little better about, I didn't post it. I just sent it to friends. The other day I was playing a Pojarski game, and I got dev struck by a Flander at, like, max range. I'm pretty sure he was running a secondary build. You see the shells come. First of all, you couldn't see them coming for a lot of it. They were just like completely whited out in the sky, and they just like pop onto my screen. Worst dispersion I've ever seen. There's shells like everywhere, and just like kapow. I had about this health, death struck. I was just like, what just happened? Messaged the dude, and I was like, dude, good shot, but like, come on. He was like, oh my god, yeah, I couldn't believe the shot. He sent me his, his side of the clip. He aimed well, full credit to him, but it was just like 3 freaking citadels from the worst dispersion known to man. I was so annoyed, but, that's World of Warships Legends. Here, I am doing what I had just mentioned I wish the Siegfried had done, is I'm trying to get in front, like in between the carrier and these battleships, to just shoot down as many planes as I can, at least put some damage on them. The Nagato and the Flander both do an amazing job staying alive. Like, I'm super impressed that they managed to stay alive with as little health as they had. In their favor, it's a Kaga. The Kaga has weak planes. It regenerates them quickly, but has weak planes, so, everything we can shoot down going over is just one less strike it has on those 2 super low health battleships. I don't know if they have will to rebuild or not. It doesn't really look like it based on how low the Flander is, but I don't know if I ever actually look at him again. So if he has will to rebuild, this is an instance that it works. I don't normally use it. I'm a fight fire with fire guy. Because I like 2 squares of separation. I haven't mentioned that. Get some separation. But anyway, this isn't the most exciting match. We've got a solo cap, I think, in the C. We've got an assist in D. I believe the Nagato and maybe even a couple of other ships were in D when we capped that. We wrecked the Moss, and we've got 95,000 damage, so not like a huge damage game. The 15 planes, I might pick up a few more towards the end here. But this ends up being a really high-scoring game. This is actually... I've done this a fair amount. I think, yeah, one of my... I think it's on... Yeah, it's definitely on this map, Scandinavia. My AL Baltimore video, one of the very first videos I made, no commentary yet, where I've got, almost 5K game in the AL Baltimore. Same spawn, actually. I like this map. I enjoy... I've had a lot of high-scoring games on this map, and I think it's because of those, like, kind of differing sightlines, and if you play the map and can maneuver around those sightlines, you end up making a big impact. So yeah, 37K. I love this ship. If you didn't pick up the Pajorski, sorry. I hope it comes back for you at some point. Um, and if you did, don't play it too much. I don't want to nerf it. So there we go. Uh, Sorry for another Dpoz video. Like my stuff, subscribe, whatever. I don't care. Social media is dumb. Thanks, guys.